Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tiny Room for Elephants Happy Hour, where we get together every week with some of our favorite people in the city and just casually chat about all things good. Just want to do a quick round robin. I wish this was like the Brady Bunch where I could like point up or down, but I don't know. I don't know what everybody else is seeing. But I want to do a quick round robin just so everyone can introduce themselves. Who are you? What do you do? And since we have Sarah here, and you'll find out all about Sarah soon to come, but I would like everyone to share the last thing that they actually watched. It doesn't have to be a movie. It can be a show. I'll start. I'm Yaya. I'm CEO and co-founder of Tiny Room for Elephants. And the last thing I watched was Arrested Development. I just started watching that. I never watched it before. Oh. And it's just like the Ozarks, I feel like, with a more comedic spin. I didn't know that. So that's me. Jason, you want to go?
Sure. That makes me want to watch Ozarks because I haven't. I love Arrested Development.
Intense.
Hey, everyone.
It is.
I'm Jason. And the last thing I watched, I finished BoJack Horseman finally.
I've never watched that.
Oh, it's good.
What it is.
Really?
Oh, it's
No, I have no clue what that is.
It's an adult cartoon. It's Will Arnett is this horse. And it's a lot about actual like LA and Hollywood and depression and mental illness.
Depression.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
So,
I can add
that.
How many episodes was it?
I don't remember. It took me through most of COVID here. So
How many seasons?
Oh, damn.
How many seasons?
4 seasons.
Okay.
I took it slow.
Nice.
Okay.
I can get into that.
Shows,
It's
you know.
established. I can do that. I can't do these one season things because I don't know if it's coming back. I don't have the emotional energy. Dame, do you want to go?
I am Dame. I am a co-founder and creative director for Tiny Room for Elephants. And the last thing I watched, does it have to be new or does it just?
It can be anything. Literally the last thing
I watched. I was so excited that The Harder They Come was put on to the Xfinity sphere, right? Which is an awesome movie. I think it was 1971, 1973, starring Jimmy Cliff, shot in Jamaica. And if you never saw it,
never saw it.
Watch The Harder They Come. It's really good. It's really, you want to see Jamaica and where a lot of the culture comes from.
I think I've seen that one, but it's a while ago. Is that old or new?
It's old.
It's old. That's what I said. I think I've seen it a while ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember much of it, but it doesn't mean it's not good.
Pen and paper.
Oh yeah.
When I was growing up,
Yeah.
and we always just like binge watch, like just watch them over and over again. Like I saw it on Xfinity. I was like, oh, yo, I gotta watch this. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning, but here we go. I'm here.
Here we go. Eric, what you doing?
What's up? I'm Eric Boss. I'm music director for Tiny Room for Elephants. Last thing I watched was Class Action Park, about Action Park from like the late 70s to the 90s. Yeah, that was kind of wild.
Yeah.
I've never been to Class Action Park, and I'm actually from Jersey, which is crazy. Yeah. Probably better that I didn't, apparently. It was like a dangerous place.
Apparently, yeah. 3 people died. It's crazy.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What are you watching? What are you doing?
Me, last thing, I'm Mike Greenidge. I'm a videographer at Fox. I'm a content contributor to Tiny Room. I'm a freelance videographer, and I'm here. So,
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? So, last thing I watched was The Old Guard, which it's funny you asked us this question because watching The Old Guard will play into a discussion later on in the show. And I didn't even realize that was going to happen until you asked this question. But yeah, I watched The Old Guard last night, and it's funny because I don't watch very many movies because it just takes up too much time. I'm impatient. And so, but my wife put it on last night. I didn't even know what I was watching, but I thought it was like a mini series. I'm a half hour in. I'm like, how long is this damn thing? And I realized but it was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So that's what the Old Guard. If anybody didn't see it or have seen it, it's it's about these group of people who are immortal. They don't die, and like the woman who leads the crew, she's been like, she fought in the Crusades and she fought in the Revolutionary War. And she's been all through all these wars in history, and she's still
Is this
here.
scary?
No. It's not scary. It's like an action.
Scary.
It's an action flick.
That sounds intense.
Yeah, nah. It's an action flick. It's almost like an X-Men, but like, but it's like they're like supposed to be like real regular people like you and me. They happen to have some kind of DNA, malfunction.
I like stuff like that.
Keeps them from dying.
Is it new?
I don't know. It just it's
pretty new.
She just turned it on. It was on. She put it on the TV downstairs. I don't know when it came out. Man.
I need your wife to come on. Your wife does so much influence this show. She's making stuff. She's like putting you on to the shows and the movies.
It was a good
Okay.
movie.
Special guest.
I'm gonna know.
Mike, that room is getting a little more crowded up there, man.
Oh yeah, I got the bike over here. Actually, I moved some stuff out. She made me lay a carpet yesterday. There was a carpet up here downstairs, so we moved some stuff out. I brought the Ernie Barnes up today, though.
Okay.
What you know about that?
Okay.
I got some good times for y'all.
Okay. You got a nice little collection over there.
Yeah, I'm running out. I got like 1-2 more shows, maybe.
Alex, what's good? What's good? You want to introduce yourself? What you watching?
I'm Alex, multifaceted artist, guru to the Tiny Room for Elephants Happy Hour. I can't remember, it was either Blade Runner or like a Formula One documentary. Probably I'm super into Formula One recently. So
really, I used to work for Red Bull. That was a huge thing for us. It's
getting intense.
You know a little bit about that.
That's a pretty dope interest, man. Formula One.
Very surprised. I wouldn't have expected that, Alex.
Very, very, very interesting. Yeah. So.
Word up.
Hey, Alex.
That's what's up.
I'm sorry, Yaya. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to, we had talked earlier. We said, this is a big day for Alex. So if you could just explain to Sarah what the guru is and what you do.
Talk about it.
This is like
basically this whole thing wouldn't happen if it wasn't for me. That's all you need to
Oh, wow.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but I'm kind of, behind the scenes if stuff needs to get looked up, if there's facts that need to be checked, kind of keep the little flow going, a little joke here and there. But,
The production glue, I get it.
Right.
Yes, he's our glue.
We have a lot of really strong personalities here, and I'm like, gotta pull on each one.
Sugs and flows between all of us. Well, last but not least, our lovely, lovely guest, Sarah. Can you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, what you do, and the last thing you watched, which I think we're all really interested in.
So my name's Sarah Mueller.
Bullet.
Thank you. I am I'm the director and founder of CineSpeak, which is an independent, mobile, currently virtual, soon to be brick and mortar cinema, operate out of West Philadelphia. And I'm very happy to be here with you all. Today, this is a nice change of pace from my usual Zoom meetings and calls. And the last thing I watched, I actually just finished this really cool series, if you're into sci-fi or horror, called The Strain, which is like, if you can bear with me, it is a zombie vampire pandemic show.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of crazy. And
because you're kind of living amongst zombie vampires.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been since March, I've been doing all this catching up on all this old sci-fi and horror and action that I wasn't ever allowed to watch growing up. The show, it's a new show. It's there's 5 seasons. It's pretty fun though. It's like super cathartic, you know, to see zombies, like, you know what I mean, and like systems come down, oppressive systems, and it's cool. I liked it a lot. It's on Hulu.
Hulu.
Highly recommend. Yeah. Very good. But it's like, it's kind of weird though, because it's like zombie vampires.
Now, are you a Walking
weird.
Dead person? Are you a Walking Dead person?
I watched the first 2 seasons of Walking Dead.
Okay.
I really liked
Okay.
it, but then, you know, when it was on TV, and then I stopped having cable, and so I couldn't catch up. But now I need to go back and watch it. I'm like a new zombie convert.
I saw you watch They Live.
Oh yeah. I love
that.
They Live.
Diddy myself, I saw that in the theater. So I was,
wow.
I was a big wrestling fan, and I had like Roddy Piper in it, and it was like debut like movie like debut
It's
or
so
whatever.
badess.
It was a big deal for me.
Yeah. Oh man, I
Looking
can't
back at it, it's
imagine.
like, what the fuck? But it's also like kind of on point too.
Yeah. No, I think there's like I've been a new sci-fi horror convert, and I'm really enjoying myself.
This is what it's all about, is learning that I would never guess that about you. So this is what I love. I'm always trying to figure out, like with people like you that we all know, it's like, where do I know you from? You know, and I always like just say out, but I feel like it's more from like a music side and music production side, like when you're at Johnny Brenda's and,
right.
you know, I know like right now, like film is everything you do, but right, JB's, you were like the head chick in charge over there with like all the production stuff. I feel like
production coordinator for 3 years. It was awesome. I really liked my time there. And
Yes.
it's funny. I was telling somebody, I never thought I would miss being in like a sweaty, smelly, like crowded, like concert show space. But I miss it. I miss it so much now. Yeah, I hope to be back soon. I don't know about you all. I miss parties and shows.
Oh,
Think about parties and everything about shows.
everything.
Yeah,
Sometimes an album like can really make me feel like, oh, I miss live shows, like the guitar and all of that.
Oh
you
yeah.
know. But we're here. We're here to just celebrate being together. Mike is our resident bartender, believe it or not. From that room in his home, he is our bartender.
Nice.
And he does an awesome segment called Over a Drink. And I'm going to pass it to Mike.
Hey, Sarah. So, Over a Drink is a little segment that I do. It's an interview series that I do sometimes when COVID came through and shut it down. So, Tiny Room was gracious enough to let me incorporate into the happy hour, right? So what I do is normally we just sit, we make a drink, and we rap, and we learn about the guests. So you've already given us a little bit about you already. But talk to me while I make this drink. I don't even know what to call it, but I'm gonna let you know what the ingredients is before you start. Before you start going. So what we got, right, is we got some fresh squeezed orange juice there.
Ooh.
We got this right here. This
Who squeezed the juice, Mike?
I squeezed it.
Questions.
I did it today.
Okay.
I did it today, right? I
Oh,
squeezed the
damn.
juice today. We got this we going with this Belvedere Heritage 176. You familiar with this?
Is that fancy? Is that like a high end?
I don't know. It cost me, it was like $37 for the bottle. Is that high end for vodka? I'm not a vodka guy, but I was in the spot in Delaware, and I'm looking.
It's about $10 better than the regular Belvedere.
Okay.
Oh wow, nice.
Okay, but it's got like
I don't know about vodka, but I kind of know a little bit about vodka.
it's mixed with a malted rye spirit, whatever the hell that means. But it's really good. Like it really good. My wife is a vodka person; she thoroughly enjoyed it. And then we're gonna mix it with this a brute. So we're gonna mix all this together, right? My wife came up with this. Now that leads me into the story real quick of the show. We might be a little shy on ingredients because we were both off today, and we put everything in the refrigerator after drinking, thinking there was way more in there than we anticipated. So when I went to grab the ingredients just now for the show, I was like, oh man, we almost out of everything.
We drank it all.
We drank it all last night.
That means it's pretty good.
Last night. So here's what it is, but I'm gonna use the shaker today. So this is another I've never used a shaker before, so that's going to be pretty impressive. Hopefully, I don't spit stuff all over the room.
Over your head.
Is that it? So, all right. I don't even know how much to put in here.
I wouldn't try to
Empty it
attempt
out.
that if you've never used one before. I would just go, straight.
Just go right to the over the head, man. Just right to the over the head.
Yeah, no, we ain't gonna go over the head, man. So I don't even know what the actual mix count is, because she just kept bringing us drinks last night.
I just love her.
It was so good.
I love an extra boozy, like mimosa, like drink.
Yeah.
This is it.
You never know you needed it for a little extra shot of something.
Yeah.
Extra
There he
boozy
goes.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh,
Take
shit.
I hate to say it, but I
Didn't work out, though.
Oh, man.
right there. Like,
Here's a quick thing about the shaker, Mike.
What's that?
The top and the bottom. You can't just put the top on
I
a
got the top. No. This is a shaker. It is a shaker. Look, it's got the thing joint.
It's got
a
the thing.
shaker.
nice one,
Oh,
too.
okay.
Yeah, it's a shaker. I'm just not
What
shaker
exactly is the
talented.
thing?
Oh, okay.
That's all. I was practicing with water earlier. Ain't got no fizz. The water ain't got no fizz. But by the way, Sarah, just
I
I'm
actually
glad
believe that he was correct.
you tell us a little bit more about CineSpeak. Like, what is it? What do y'all do over there? You know what I'm saying? Skip me, somebody who's not familiar with it, caught up.
Yeah, definitely.
And before you get started, just so you know, like Mike is our resident guy that he doesn't know. He just doesn't know. And he's here for it. And he wants to know. And we're constantly like just showing him new folks and new people every single week. So I want you to take it from that perspective.
And we all get to pretend like we know and just pass it off on Mike, you know?
Have you heard anybody in Philly that doesn't or haven't heard of like Read the Lost Cause?
Yeah.
Who hasn't heard of like Lady Alma?
Oh,
Right.
Yo, Dave,
That's
will you
nice.
let her talk about CineSpeak?
Hello.
Let's try that.
Generous Philly legends. So we've been basically.
Look at that pour, though. Look at that pour.
Oh wow!
I pour like I'm shaking familiar.
I'm so mad I don't get to enjoy that.
I know.
And then that's what now my wife's had a little fizzy head on it, but she probably, the shaker probably worked better.
Really?
Watch your mouth, Dave. The same about
I like talk to it.
That's amazing.
Okay.
All right, go.
Oh yeah, no, I was just thinking. Actually, I was thinking about like bubbly, and it reminded me of when the city got word in like early or mid-March they were going to shut everything down, and there was like a run to the liquor stores. I am somebody who doesn't buy a lot of liquor, but I always have some stuff stocked on my shelf. I like ran down to the one on Baltimore Avenue, and I bought like all this wine, and I was like, oh, I'm going to grab a bottle of bubbly for when all of this passes in a month. And in my mind, I was like, I had this bottle, I still have it, this bottle of Prosecco that's like gathering lots of dust about this thick now. And I'm not going to open it. I'm not going to open it until someday. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to shake it up, and I'm going to like spray it all over Baltimore. That's the first thing I thought of when you were like making a bubbly cocktail. Man.
I don't have a
we were
name
be out
for
of
it,
this.
but it's orange juice, the vodka, and
Good.
a brute sparkling wine.
Nice.
Here's to the extra boozy mimosa.
Cheers.
Right?
Sarah, want to call it extra boozy mimosa.
Extra boozy.
Right. It's extra
There you
boozy
go.
Extra
mimosa.
boozy.
And they go down smooth. So that's why all the bottles were damn near empty this morning.
Oh, even
Right.
better, a smooth and boozy mimosa.
Yes.
There you go. There
I like
you go.
that. Smooth and boozy.
There you go.
All right, now, guys.
So I mean, I've been in Philly for 18 years now, and I've always loved going to the movies. Been something that I've always really loved. Like from the time I was a kid, going to like Disney movies and the Indiana Jones movies and all that kind of stuff. It's always been really like one of the highlights of my life. I've always just been real nerdy about it and enjoyed the experience. And in like 2013, after I'd been here for quite a few years, I was like getting kind of frustrated because I would hear about these movies that would like play New York City, would play different, LA, all these big cities, but never play Philly. And I thought to myself, well, like, how does one get movies to play Philly? Like, because Philly's always being compared to New York, right? Particularly in film, it's like, you know, oh, well, it's played in New York, it opens in LA on whatever date in Chicago and all these things, but then things won't play here. And so I basically just, I found like films that I liked and wanted to see come to Philly. And I was sitting there researching on Google, trying to find a filmmaker, and would like email them and say, hey, I'm just this person in Philly. I would like wing it, you know what I mean? And then try and get them to let me bring their film to Philly. And so the idea to just kind of create these parties around film, around movies, make it a big experience, get people off their couches and out, you know, into like weird and unique spaces sort of was born. And we had our first screening in October of 2013 at Everybody Hits, rest in peace, on Jordan Avenue. Yeah. So we had our first screening in this old weird batting cage. And yeah, I just started doing it every once in a while when there were films that were like cool that I wanted to bring through and weren't going to play any of our festivals and things. And so lo and behold, 7 years later, we're kind of a little mini organization. And pre-pandemic, we had about like 2 to 4 like pop-up movie screenings happening around the city every month. And now we're doing virtual, like everybody else. You know, we're kind of doing the virtual thing for a while. But, you know, movies are a way for us to come together. You know what I mean? To be happy, to escape, to heal, to revolt, all those kinds of things, you know? So I really believe in the power of movies, and that's why I do what I do.
Dude, I
am blown away.
Word up.
Sarah,
I appreciate that.
Just hearing you say that, it sounds almost like booking bands, you know, like people coming through Philly, like a film that didn't get a fest in Philly, like someone you could get in. It sounds like running a small venue almost. Is there crossover there from your work in music as well?
Yeah, I think a little bit. I mean, definitely working at Johnny Brenda's, even though I wasn't the one booking, like it gave me, you know, I realized like you get used to rejection real fast. It's something in booking, whether you're doing bands or artists, grants, whatever it is, you get used to rejection. That's part of what it is to be a creative person, I think. Yeah. And so I developed that tough skin and still am, you know what I mean? Like all these years later. And worst thing that can happen is they say like, no, you know what I mean? Like there was a film called Shake the Dust. It's a really great film about the global breakdancing, like just culture, how breakdancing has kind of evolved over the years. Really cool film, heard about it playing festivals. And I think it was like in 2015, I want to say. I literally just found the person on like Google and was like, I have access to this weird warehouse space in North Philly. Like, I want to bring in Cornbread the Legend. I want to bring in like, because that's where we were doing it. So I was thinking of like making it a bigger event. And filmmakers, like any artists, are like usually they want their stuff out there. You know what I mean? And still like in the early, like when we were starting like 7 years ago, Netflix was around, but those things weren't as big as they are now. You know what I mean? So people want to get their content out there. And usually, you know, it's like the more indie filmmakers are who we're going after. People who just really care about the story and care about their work. And so, yeah, it's not like Quentin Tarantino or like, you know, Spike Lee, although I've tried to get Spike Lee, but that's not happening yet. He's a harder get. He's so popular, but yeah.
What did you think of Five Bloods?
You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, I actually have not seen it yet. Listen, I know, and it's on the Chadwick Boseman list to watch. I think when they first came out, I was like not ready for a war movie. I was not a place like, I don't know about any of you, but my mood, like, you know what I'm saying? It kind of changes like every week to week. And so I need to see it, and I'm gonna watch it this week. I'm gonna commit to do that.
You see Mulan yet?
What do you say?
Mulan, the Disney flick.
Have I seen Mulan yet?
Yeah.
The new one I have not. That's also on my list for this week.
You got a busy week.
No, listen, I was
like $30
like you were.
I don't know. It was a family night the other night, so we watched it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it with some friends. Hopefully, we'll split that $30.
I think my brother-in-law paid for it. It's a good movie, though. I will say, I thoroughly enjoyed. I'm surprised. I enjoyed it. Like it's great action, great fight scenes. It's like a Saturday afternoon karate flick.
Right.
Dude, it really was. It really, like, there was no singing and dancing in it. It was like Ron was out there kicking ass. I was like, oh shit, this is a dope flick.
I love it. And those are the kind of movies I wish you could be in a theater. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get very excited about those movies, like big comedies, big action. And then I get a little sad in my feelings because I wish we were like in a big packed out theater. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much, that's part of the experience, but I'm glad people are.
Are you excited for Tenet?
I am excited for Tenet. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it either. And I know the theater just open. I'm like, ooh.
You know, some of the theaters, like the Cinemark out west, you can actually rent the theater for like I think it's like only like $150, and you can have like 20 people, and you get a private screening. Because movie theaters, because movie theaters
I can be into that.
Yeah.
Yo, we should do that.
I know.
I can get into that.
You go on your website. There's like 10 films you can see. You just schedule a time. You can bring 20 people, and it's literally like $150.
And y'all get the whole theater to yourself, right? Yeah, you get the whole theater.
Still spread out and how they're comfortable.
Yep.
We can do it before we hear this. We can like actually get in there.
Yeah. I know, but I saw that and I was like, movie theaters are hurting because that's like nothing to rent a theater. Yeah.
Theaters are hurting right now.
But I'm thinking about because they have like what's the other his movie? Inception. One of his last big movies.
Oh yeah.
The same director. You can see that in theaters too. It's like a 10-year anniversary or something. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool to a double feature.
Now a double feature.
All right, well, I'm gonna wrap up over a drink. Toss it back to Yaya.
Hey,
Hi.
We're back. I just want to have a ball. So we are talking movies, and we talked a little bit about your music background, and so. Every week, people just kind of submit questions on what they want to know about our guests. And one of the questions that came in really talked about, like, what's your favorite movie soundtrack? Be it in a movie alone or in a movie or standalone, separate.
That is a good question. I love soundtracks, and it's funny because my two favorite movies, which are like both tied for number one, both have two of my favorite soundtracks, and they're very different. So one is Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, which I saw when I was like 18, and that movie changed my life. And the second movie is a movie Marlon Brando called On the Waterfront, which is from the 1950s. And he plays this ex-boxer who basically is torn between his mob life and being a dock worker. And that's a totally different, whereas Do the Right Thing is more pop, kind of like pop culture, like popular music, like radio stuff. In original content, that music's more like score, like it's more instrumental, kind of orchestral stuff. So they're very, very different, but the music plays like a really strong, like almost like a character in the movie. In both movies, you know what I mean? Because like Fight the Power, when like Rosie Perez comes popping on for the beginning of the film, the tone is like set, you know what I mean? So anyway. On the waterfront, and Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing.
I love the duality of the two.
There's so many good movies, like soundtracks. You get like,
oh yeah,
going on for days. That's a whole.
Yeah, what are some of your favorites?
I like that Mo Better Blues.
Oh yeah,
soundtrack. That's a great soundtrack. I still listen to that any chance I get to rock that one. And that and Wild Style. The Wild Style soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
That's a classic.
I'm just going to come out and say it, and I'm not going to be embarrassed, but Love Jones, that's
a good one. That's a good one. You got to be embarrassed.
It just takes me. I just love that one. That's one of my favorites that I will like go back to and listen to. Yes.
I don't know if it counts as a favorite, but it shows where I am in life that I've listened to the Moana soundtrack more than probably any other album in my entire life. However, I love that movie, and the soundtrack is awesome. And I have shed a few tears to some of the songs on that soundtrack. We have sang it as a family driving in the car, That's so many memories around those songs now.
That's awesome. I've seen a little girl like singing, belting out her heart to the Moana song.
I am Moana.
I'm going to go in the direction of Sarah, and I'm going to go two different ways, right?
Okay.
One, Black Caesar, and the soundtrack is done all by James Brown.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
if you haven't seen the movie,
I've seen like chunks. I haven't seen. I'm adding to my list for this week. Now I have now 3 movies. If you're keeping track.
You busy, girl. You busy.
the whole soundtrack was done by James Brown.
That's awesome.
Like all of it, like the slow, sad ballads, everything. So,
That's so
you know,
cool.
you got that JB's, and the movie's great. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I love that soundtrack as
Wes
well.
Anderson.
A whole
I
other
know that one.
but like,
So good.
yes.
Yeah, movies, it's music. People don't think about that enough, but like there are so many. Like I think even good shows out right now. Like the show Rami. Many of you watch that on
Oh
Hulu?
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh man, the music on that show is so good.
Good.
Well, because like it's like the music can share so much. Like the music can show shade. Like oh my god, like the music and I think you said it best earlier when you said like the music can play like a character. Yeah. And I never really thought of it in that way, but it's so true. And sometimes like guilty pleasure of mine is reality shows, and a lot of that like you lean to the music to like let you know like what's getting ready to happen. Like oh shit, Tammy's mad, you know. Like,
I love that stuff. It's so good.
Yeah, you lean to that. So this is a great segue to our music portion. Here comes Eric. Perfect timing. Okay. Eric, I'm going to throw it to you for the first half of our music segment for today.
Hey.
What is he drinking over there out of that
Looks
mug?
like you're drinking out of some sort of like...
Yeah, like what are you in Germany? Like what are you drinking out of?
It's like a frozen mug from.
Okay.
Okay, go
yeah, my mom has a bunch of these in the freezer, and like half of them are from New Orleans. You know.
Of course.
I love that.
Yeah. All right.
And then
We normally, read the music here, right? You know.
Where'd you go?
What?
Oh, okay. I thought we lost you for a second.
Does it freeze when I go over there? Sorry, I was trying to pull up run a show and all, but you know, whatever. All right, so we reviewed 2 albums this week, right?
Yes.
One was, Burna Boy, Twice as Tall, right?
Twice as Tall, yeah.
And I feel like I messed that title up, but it's right? Yeah.
No, that's it. That's it.
And then the other one is Disclosure Energy, right?
Yeah.
Those are the 2 I listen to.
Those are the 2 albums. Do you listen to both of them, Mike?
Yeah, I listen to the majority of them.
Oh man.
Come on, Mike.
Listen, man.
Let's start with the Burna Boy. Let's see.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's start with Burna Boy.
Burna Boy was an easy one. I expected to like it. I was hoping I didn't get disappointed. But I mean, you know, it's Afro beats. You know what I mean? Once you through, like, that's just so hot right now. It's really hard to mess it up. But I also like him as an artist. I like that joint, Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's the one that's...
The whole thing was so good for me.
That was like the first single. That they,
the first single?
It was like the first song he dropped. And I was like, oh, I hit Eric like, yo, did you hear this new Burna Boy?
Yeah.
This was a great...
He got a lot of like that back to Africa, like the Africa singing on it, like the women.
I
singing.
love
like
that.
yo, I forget what track that was. I was like, yo, I'm into this joint. So the Burna Boy album goes.
Yeah.
Like that's a win for
he really leaned into that part of it this time, I think, you know.
Yeah. And he had the guy on the first song, not the guy, sorry. But I first heard him on that Cannabis song, How Come, like in like the 90s. And now he's on this song, but he has a massive catalog. I think it's Just Endure. On the first song, it's like a super, super, super accomplished, legendary singer.
Wow. Oh wow!
Probably like one of the greatest singers out of Africa and shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Age 60, yeah.
Yeah.
How old?
60.
Oh wow! Okay. I'll have to go back and give that a deeper listen.
Guru.
And
now you understand what the Guru does, Sarah.
Exactly. Look at the facts.
So I'm curious what everyone thought of, when we had Reef on here, he was talking about being real cautious writing a song about the protests and Black Lives Matter right now and just not being opportunistic. So then Burna Boy has a song with Coldplay. What do you guys think about that song? Did he hit it right? Or what do you think about the tone of it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I may not have made it to that one.
You know what? I think he did hit it
It was
right.
that one on the album.
It
Monsters
felt,
You Made.
it didn't feel like, for me, it was like made for like this time. It was made for like, that's what he was feeling, it felt like. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like, yo, we did this song because of what was happening right now. I mean, in his own country, there's a lot of political strife and trauma. So it's like, you know, I think it was just like, it was just one of those natural things, like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I felt good about it.
Well, knowing what I know about the album is his last album that came out was African Giant. When he put African Giant out, he had made it in like 6 weeks or something. He made it like kind of on a limb. And he already had a whole other album done. And that whole other album that was like 80% done was this album. It's my understanding. So this song might be almost 2 years old.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Wow.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a lot. I feel like people creating stuff like I feel like stuff around like revolution, like changing the society, like that stuff's evergreen. I mean, it's gonna be evergreen.
Evergreen. Yeah. It's evergreen.
It really is. I mean, we're moving and we're changing and stuff, but sometimes it feels like it's slower and faster than others, you know. And
I try and think about that sometimes. That like, you know, people of my parents' generation thought the world was ending too. You know, like, I mean, I do think the world is ending right now, but like they all thought it was too, you know?
Like, you know, like we don't have enough, you know, computers can't handle it. The time, they can't go, all that, remember that? It was crazy.
Oh, yeah,
Y2K?
Oh yeah, Y2K.
Yo, I was terrified.
Oh my God.
Terrified. That almost broke up my relationship at the time because my partner was not taking it serious. And it's like, yo, the cars are not going to work. Do you understand? These are computer cars.
The computer cars are not going to work.
Not going to work.
Oh, man.
It's so true. All right, cool.
We have a song to listen to from Burna Boy?
Yeah, let's take a listen.
I'm all queued up here. Yeah. This is Way Too Big.
Which is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
One of mine too.
It's like,
there's a lot of joints on that album, man. There's very few.
Am I on vacation? Am I on vacation?
We haven't been able to hear this in a club.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That was part of the issue, man. It's like, you know, I had to be in the car so I could turn it all the way up. You want to feel it, you know? So like trying to listen, like I listened to the Burna Boy album all the way through, but I was in the house, was through my phone. Like it don't have the same effect. Yeah, when I got in the car, turned it on, I was like, okay, this goes way hard, man. That's the great. He put together a good album, man.
I know this song was kind of what he was looking for with the whole project was like the combined, like the best in like the Afrobeat like production and the American production. I know like Mike Dean assisted on this one. We know a lot from like Kanye's and all that.
Okay.
So it just feels so like naturally in between, like almost pop, almost reggae, almost this.
Right in that. It's right in that sweet spot. It's right in that sweet spot. Like that's where the hit is.
What he's
right there. That's what he's looking for.
That's what he's really good at too.
Yeah.
You know, like his best work has been taking, you know, 90s, early 2000s R&B records, you know what I mean, and making something new out of it, you know what I mean? So I think that's like where he, you know, thrives kind of.
We didn't hear from Sarah, did we? What was that on that album?
Listen,
Sarah, how did you feel about it?
I really enjoyed it, and let me tell you, it's funny. My partner, he's a musician, and so I always say, like, when it comes to music things, even though I worked at a venue and got turned on to all these like incredible artists, I always am like, I always like second guess my like, you know what I mean? But my input. But I really enjoyed it, and to be honest, I didn't know about Burna Boy before you told me about him, and I'm a new fan. I really liked it. And I felt like the album, like I'm like into stories and stuff, and I feel like a lot of the transitions and the intros you talked about earlier, like that's what I was really drawn to, was seeing how he kind of creatively, you know, brought in different people we know, you know what I mean? whether it's Chris Martin, he has Naughty by Nature.
Naughty by Nature?
I know. I was like, this is cool. I was like, all right, that was the first track I clicked on because I was like, oh, I know them. You know, I always kind of like skip around, but yeah, it was good. I'm a new fan, I gotta say.
As Eric can attest to, he's an incredible performer. So when the artist is over, and if you ever see him, get the chance to see him live, you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the shows are madhouse.
Oh man,
a lot of good.
Amazing. Yeah, that's why I want to be in a crowd. That's what I was thinking. Like, man, what would it be like to be in like a packed out, like sweaty club? That's like,
yeah.
That was TLA when he was here. You know.
Oh wow!
Perfect segue to Disclosure. Packed out, sweaty.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's exactly what this album was. And we know Yaya loved this one. Talk about it.
I was so excited, man. Dame sent it to me bright and early one morning. I put it on while I worked out, and I'm like, it's pretty much just been on repeat. And then I've gone into other Disclosure, other stuff. It's Disclosure playlist. Like, I've been on a Disclosure week, and I loved Burna Boy, but I had to like break out of my Disclosure to like get and really listen to that. So
I got a bike for my birthday. I was gifted a bike, and I ride my bike 5 times a week, right? I leave out probably like somewhere between 6:30 and 8:30, and I'm on my bike. And I ride down, like, I'm in Southwest Philly. I ride down to 2nd Street, then I ride all the way back to my house. I do a whole loop. And so I listen to music and podcasts and all kinds of stuff. A lot of it music, though. And I went to, like, you know, the iTunes, oh, what's new this week? And it was like Disclosure. And I was like, before I got on my bike and I got to the corner, and I was like, I stopped my bike and I was like, text, Yaya, send. Like,
I'm still dancing. I don't know what other people are doing, but I'm still dancing.
Through Yaya. It was like, I got in a car a couple of times, like, a long time ago, and it was like, oh, this is Disclosure. And I'm like, what? Where have I been? And so when I heard it, and I heard the first beat and the first tempo of the first beat, I was like, oh, I need to stop.
With Khalid?
Yeah, that's a good record.
Jason, do you want to play the clip first this time, and then maybe we can?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it that way.
Which clip you playing?
Which one are you playing?
I don't know.
I don't
There's
know.
too many.
There's too many.
What was your personal favorite, Yaya?
Energy was definitely a great one. The first one with Police. I love Police.
So ready.
It's really the whole thing.
Now,
like but there's some things on iTunes where I feel like there's some songs that are grayed out. Like, what does that mean? Like, that happens sometimes with soundtracks,
there was a bunch of them on there too that were grayed out.
Is grayed out.
Oh.
I don't know why those particular songs are not available.
Is that a licensing thing?
There's like, if you go to the deluxe album, there's a bunch of them on the deluxe album that are grayed out.
And again, I find this sometimes with soundtracks as well. Like, I'll go on and it'll be certain songs that I can't access. So
I can't find a soundtrack for B Street on iTunes. That's a problem.
Yeah, I can see it all on Spotify. Maybe they have a Spotify deal, like a licensing thing.
It's got to be a licensing.
I'm sure
I'm gonna have to go to Spotify to get the full experience. But
you could probably buy it and get all of them. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Woo. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love songs with all that energy. A lot of it sounded like, you know, like The Message was really like that NERD, that last album they had. I heard a little bit of Jamiroquai. I love Jamiroquai. So Use the Force was in there in the beginning when they opened up. It's just my favorite this week. So I'm super excited. I'm glad we all got to listen. Did you enjoy it, Sarah?
Oh yeah. It was so good. I got so pumped up.
Right?
Yeah, I just want to be in the thick of it. A big club. It sounds so good. Yeah, it's so good. The energy.
Who else has anything special?
Who knows about Disclosure? These guys are brothers, right? It's two.
Yeah.
I actually don't know anything about them. Yeah. They're brothers?
They had that Khalid song. That's what I guess I know them from. tough with production duos when it's all different collaborative artists because you don't like recognize a voice or something. It's hard to like connect some of the hits. You know, I don't know much about them.
Yeah. I know when they performed. Maybe the Fillmore. Yeah, I think that's where they were last time they were here. But they do this like dueling production. Like one's more percussionist and another one's a little more of a keyboardist, you know. But they have like everything going on basically. Like so, whether it's digital or like real, they'll just have like real cymbals stacked up in front of them, in front of the keyboard. Like it's super random. Yeah.
I love that.
My face hurts from smiling so much.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
So much energy in that album.
Very
so much energy in that album.
Super inspiring.
Yeah,
I love our music segments.
Yeah, that's good.
I want to kind of get into this conversation with Sarah. So again, earlier I said all of us crew members here, we submit some questions, things that we want to know about you or what you're doing. And so I have a little
ooh, official.
This is actually
we got the bingo ball.
That's awesome.
This is actually an old popcorn popper and I lost the lid, so now it's this. So I just kind of wrote out all the questions and I folded them up in here. So we're gonna see.
Dave, yeah, she's shaming you right now. Dave. She's shaming you, Dave.
No. See, no. There's no shame. Yes. She's doing a way better job than I would ever do.
No question.
I mean,
no question.
I love this.
Here's the thing.
This is my first time doing it, Sarah. Out of like 10 episodes.
You're crushing it.
This has been a very well orchestrated show from top to bottom. So, like, I you know, yes, I'm the Michael Jordan of the show,
really
but you know what I'm saying? Gary Payton. No.
Okay, I'm totally blushing.
It's been a well orchestrated show, all the way down to like these little surprising delights. God, I just wanted to say that on record.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, let's get into these questions though. So I'm gonna
do it.
Dig it in here.
Ooh, so many.
So many questions. Ooh. Okay, Sarah. Guru. What's your favorite movie snack food? Ooh, I want to know this from everybody. What are y'all munching on? Like ideal setting.
Ideal setting?
Yeah.
If I'm gonna like take the time to do it, I like making stovetop popcorn. Where it's like the oil with the kernels, and I'm like,
it
scares the shit out of my boyfriend, but I'll like put the sheet on the wok, and I'm like tossing hot oil.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
It's not safe. So do not try this at home. But
that's probably better than the movie. The popcorn making it probably more entertaining than the movie.
Oh my gosh. Usually I'm bare. It's like a whole mess, but I eat corn a lot.
Yes. Who else? What else y'all snacking on anything interesting during movies?
Ideal setting.
In
the theater.
Okay.
COVID free. Or in a snowsuit with
However you gotta do it.
Mittens. I need mittens. So one, I need peanut M&Ms.
Woo.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
You got peanut M&Ms because it's like you never know when you need them. You just start popping them in your mouth.
Right.
Good. Also, I'm a bread kind of guy. So in the theater, I'm gonna go with the pretzel bites.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Get the spicy nacho from the nacho stuff, but I use that for the pretzel bites.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I want my stomach to hurt when I like feel some pain in my stomach. And then I need a large soda, preferably like mixed, like a variety of.
Mountain Dew, orange, Dr. Pepper.
Orange. I want like Cherry Coke, and then I want some like lime Fanta, and I want you know what I mean? I want a lot of carbonation with flavors. Like, oh, what's that? Is that you know what I mean? And then something chocolate, other than M&Ms. Like
other than
there you go.
Yeah, like straight chocolate.
There you go.
Okay.
It would be like one of those fancy like chocolates with the little fruit in it, like the little cherries in it.
Ooh,
Right,
that's
right,
like
right.
it's like an old people's chocolate.
Yeah,
That chocolate cordial cherry. That is
Yeah.
so gross. I'm sorry. Like, so for me, in an ideal setting, I like that caramel cheddar popcorn blend. Like that
Sweet and
is
savory.
my jam. Like I would have that, and I would have a really big Sprite, and just an endless supply. Like not all eaten in the previews, because that's sometimes what happens.
Yes.
And then you're waiting so long. It's actually kind of why I don't really like previews, because it's like, I want to eat it when I sit down. Like,
Facts.
I'm ready.
Facts.
Before we does anybody else want to go? Because I'm sorry.
I was a little ashamed because ideal setting. Like, dude, I'm
curious
bougie.
about.
I'm bougie, man. I like ideal would be at my crib sitting on the couch, right?
Like last night.
Yeah, I got cheese and I got crackers and I got good cheese too. Like I don't want no garbage cheese. Yeah, I want a cheese. I want some. You know what I mean? I want some aged Gouda or something like that, or some.
I'm just so in love with your wife.
You know what I mean?
I love her. I love
like
her.
the joy. I want it to crackle. Like I want the cheese to break up with it, because if it's sitting for 12 months or whatever.
So bougie.
I need a little wine. I want some grapes. Like I'm gonna have my feet up. Like ideal. If I'm going ideal, man, you know what I mean? Maybe we really lucky. We got a little leftover sushi in the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying?
You're like a bougie.
I'm going.
You're like a total.
Yeah, I'm a mess, Yaya. Hey, what do you want me to tell you, man? Like, popcorn don't do it for me, man.
Yeah, if I could watch a movie at my favorite restaurant, that'd be great, Mike.
That's how I'm gonna do it. You said ideal setting. Like, I'm gonna make it ideal.
I mean, I didn't realize it was like, you're like, whoa.
Like, popcorn just ain't ideal to me. I want it nice.
So speaking of like movie theaters and like movie theater settings, I know in July, your Best of Philly article came out. Like you're a Best of Philly, right?
Yeah.
Listen,
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Cheers to that.
Hey, wait, let me. I gotta pour something.
Let's cheers to Sarah's Micro Center. So I'm curious, right? I know you talked about things going virtual now, and I see like you have a lot of really awesome movies, by the way. I know you're partnering with folks, but I just want to kind of hear more about this virtual pivot and where you see your cinema going, like even now, like throughout this COVID time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole conversation. But it's interesting because like not in Philly. I remember I referenced like earlier that like Philly always people always say that Philly doesn't have much of a film scene. There isn't like independent films that are happening here, which is not true. But before COVID, independent theaters around the country and around the world, we're seeing this kind of like resurgence. People are getting excited. They want to go out and they want to support their local theaters. I heard somebody refer to like some local movie theaters can be like community centers. You know what I mean? These spaces, people get weird. They get dressed up for Halloween. They watch old horror movies, whatever. They bring the kids in and their Disney princess outfits, whatever. I think like there's this idea that like movie theaters have been competing with streaming, right? Because who doesn't love to like sit back and like I love to sit back and watch movies in my pajamas, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like binge watch shows. It's super great experience. You get your cheese.
Tell them, Sarah.
I don't know theaters that don't cheese trays yet.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't go to the theaters that often. That's why they struggling.
I'm gonna file that idea away. We need a cheese guru at the cinema.
The chef comes in.
Little tray.
It makes you a meal.
Right. But it's true though, you know what I mean? Like
down in your home theater.
What do you say? Oh yeah, exactly. And there are places that do like, they are starting to do kind of like some food at tables and things like that. But I get it. Like, and also it's expensive to go to the movies. Like, that's my thing is that like,
talk about it.
If you have kids, if you're going with a crew of people on a date, it is expensive. You know what I mean? And like, so like, it's funny because when in the middle of March, that Trolls movie came out, whatever, for those of you who have children or whatever, maybe you've never enjoyed the Trolls movies. But it was like, I think $20, right? For like a rental.
$19 a shot.
Right. And everyone was
kids
like,
wanted to watch it 4 times. Jason knows.
Jason knows. He has a little girl.
Right. And so everyeverybody's like, what the hell? $20 for a rental. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my kids are old enough that they didn't even ask. Like, I just keep walking into the living room and it was on again. I was like, what is this on again?
So that Trolls movie, I listened to a podcast called My Brother and Me, and it's these 3 brothers who, they're kind of comedians, podcasters now professionally, and they started a podcast, the McElroy brothers, Wilby and Trolls 2.
Okay.
They kind of like willed into action, like that they were going to be in this movie, and they ended up getting like little bit roles. Like the play button on the DJ like controller like says, "Oh no," and that is Travis McElroy.
That's what's up.
So they like totally like just willed it into action and did it. It's kind of awesome.
That's hysterical.
They have a ton of like podcasts, but this is one of their like, you know, side ones. They put something out every month or something.
It's so funny. But yeah, I've seen a lot of that. It goes back to the Mulan question about watching Mulan and $30 to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, there's been this really interesting conversation that I hear amongst people in the cinemas, like around the world, you know what I mean? Is that like, okay, it costs so much, right? For like $20-$30 for a rental. Who's used to paying that for movies? We're used to like maybe $4, $6 on iTunes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But then when you think about it, if you're supposed to bring your family, all your kids to the movies, you're going to be spending like $50 or more.
Yeah.
So it isn't that crazy. So it's like this really weird like time to be like screening movies, because a lot of the movies, like something we do with CineSpeak is that we think it's really important that art be accessible, right? That people, that it's not a barrier to enjoying really good stories. And so we do screens outside. They're like low, no cost, things like that whenever possible. And in attempting to do this virtual thing, a lot of distributors who are trying, and independent filmmakers who are trying to stay alive and get their films out there still want to charge $12 for a rental. You know what I mean? Which is like, for some people, like $12 for a rental is a lot. I think it's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like,
and you may not like the movie.
Yeah. And you might not like the movie, and you can't get your movie back.
You can't. You might be dissatisfied.
Right. So it's a really weird, interesting time to be pivoting. Like, we decided to go with this, doing the theatrical release stuff. It's all independent, movies, but trying to just kind of see what it's like to kind of roll this stuff out. It's kind of practice for when we have our own space. But we've also been doing a lot of, earlier this spring, we did a lot of free content on Canopy, which is like free for all Philadelphia Library card holders. A little plug for the free library.
Yeah, go get the Philadelphia Library card.
Yep. You get four movies a month. What do you say?
I owe money to them.
Oh, you didn't get your debt clean, right?
You need to go on the Forgiveness Day where they have that. They have that. Like,
they wiped it.
In the early 90s, like.
Oh, they already wiped it, Sarah?
They wiped it, yeah. All you got to do is reapply. Yeah, they voted a couple months ago.
Because mine was like CD. It was like.
Yep.
I knew that. Okay.
Oh, yeah. It was a couple months ago. They had $0, no balance. Yep.
I'm back.
Oh, yeah.
There's an NPR story on that, but I won't go into it.
Yeah.
There was an NPR story on how they, because it kept people from going to the library. So for like people who need to be there the most wasn't going because they were feared that they would get. And so they wiped everybody. They talked. I didn't know they did it, but I know I heard a thing talking about wiping it clean. So the people who need the library the most would go back to the library.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I really needed those Duke Ellington CDs.
Oh man, you get instruments from the free library. Did you know that? I just yes. Yeah, you can get like stringed instruments you can rent out from the Central Library.
Did not know
music
I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I've been here 18 years. I had no idea until like a couple months ago.
Like
a lot of cool stuff.
Okay.
Canopy is one of those things.
So Canopy is a streaming independent filmmaker site.
Oh, so Canopy is like similar to Hulu, Netflix. It's another streaming platform. Is my internet being all weird?
No, you're right.
I'm all right.
Very good.
Okay.
And so they have all different kinds of movies. So they have like old movies, they have new movies, a lot of independent stuff, a lot of documentaries. But basically, as a free library card holder, which you can sign up and get it like today if you want a library card, you basically created a free account on this streaming platform, and you get 4 movies a month.
Okay,
it's pretty cool if you're looking for different stuff.
And is that anywhere? Is that just Philly or is that anywhere?
I guess they have partnerships with other, like, some colleges and other libraries have it. Okay. But in Philly, like, I didn't even know that until, like, maybe, like, 6 months ago, 9 months ago. Yeah, but it's pretty cool if you're looking for different stuff. Yeah, I know. It's pretty cool, though.
That's what's up.
We were screening some of that stuff, like, in the beginning of, like, April and, like, May. And we partnered with some different, like, community organizers and arts and cultural, like, organizations, and chose some films and tried to, like, help raise money for some really cool grassroots organizing work happening. And that was kind of just on the fly, but it was all free programming, and we asked people, like, in good faith to, like, go ahead and donate. And we're hoping to bring that back probably in October. I guess it was like a weekly meetup. It was kind of cool just to feel a little human, see some faces, talk about movies. You know, and it didn't cost you anything because it's free. So it's like you could just show up. And if you wanted to, like, give $20 to whatever, this organization that's, you know, Food Not Bombs or whatever, you know what I mean? That's trying to provide food out west. So
now with your Fridays, and I think I saw you're releasing new movies every Friday. Tell us a little bit about that now, working on the virtual side of things.
Yeah, it's been cool. Like, we, so a lot of independent distributors and, like, filmmakers, you can think of them like indie music labels, you know, but just for film, are trying to survive. They're always, you know, trying to, like, keep the lights on, you know what I mean? And they're the ones who are advocating for filmmakers after they've played festivals and stuff like that. And so they try to create a more equitable situation to kind of support art house cinemas. So basically we split 50, like the distributors and then us. And we have new movies that come out every Friday. They run for about 10 days to 2 weeks. And we try, like, you know, we're not just trying to screen anything and everything, but we're trying to screen, more diverse voices, you know, a lot of women filmmakers. Right now we have a lot of cool stuff from out of Chicago. We're trying to do this, like, sister city cinema where we're talking to, like, other programmers and filmmakers in different cities and kind of celebrate what it means to be a storyteller in that specific space. And so we have a bunch of shorts and indie films up from Chicago right now, and a really cool film called Mr. Soul, which is about
I saw that.
You saw that, Ellis?
Yeah, I didn't see the movie, but I'm excited for you to tell us more. Yeah,
it's about he's like it's not. It's a documentary, and he's basically he was it was a PBS show, and it's kind of famed as, like, the first Black Tonight Show. And it only ran for, like, a limited number of years, but he had all these crazy, like, musical artists on it. And the film kind of talks about the history and what it was like. He also was gay, kind of, like, out doing his thing, like, in the 80s and whatnot. And so I think it's his niece, actually, who directed the film about him. It's really cool. And there's a Q&A. You can, Blair Underwood is the narrator, and Robert Glasper did the score. So, that's a really cool film we have right now, too. Yeah, Mr. Soul.
It's showing right now?
So, Nice. Through the this coming Sunday. We're changing things up. We're always kind of just seeing, like,
I love that.
Old movies, you know, they're getting remastered, and then but it's things you're not going to just see, you know, necessarily. You're not going to rent on iTunes. Like, you know, they're not necessarily going to Netflix. These are movies that you really only can see through, like, our cinema, and you rent them through there, and you're supporting us, and you're supporting these really cool stories. You know what I mean? So that's what we're about, you know.
I love that.
It's an experiment trying to adjust, you know what I mean? Trying to feel human. And just.
Well, as soon as I went on your site and I saw some of the films, it was like, because Dame and I, just I'm sure as many couples have every single weekend, it's like, okay, what are we doing? What are we watching?
Right.
What are the plans? And that struggle of, like, you know, I mean, it's really Dame sweating to figure out a plan of what we're going to watch. And I can't tell you some of the things that we are watching. So to have this, when I went on there, I'm like, oh, this is what we're doing this weekend. This is great. It's like something, like you said, you wouldn't be searching for, you know? So.
Yeah, we're trying to get people, I think a film is a unique thing a medium that can really, like, get really good conversations going. And it's unfortunate we can't, I only get sad thinking about not watching these movies with people, you know, that's the kind of the sad thing about it, but I'm really glad these stories are getting out there. And unfortunately, like, in the, like, you know, the capitalist society that we live in, it's like, you know, we pay the tickets and, like, it helps people stay alive, distributors.
Yes.
I'm saying, so kind of all, I think, like, helps to make sure that this stories continue to get funded. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Particularly for those who aren't getting the Netflix deals, you know what I mean? Or aren't getting the, like, iTunes deals to have their stuff out there. So if you're not seeing it in some cases, like at film festivals or in these indie art house spaces, you might never know it existed. And you have a new filmmaker that, you know, you're going to be turned on to.
Love it.
What's your thoughts on these indie film places, like where they're showing them in these small theaters and so on and so on, in this time? Because we did talk about how they're hurting. Just your thoughts in general on their future and what can, what do you think can happen to maybe save some of these places?
That's a good question. I mean, I think about that a lot, you know what I mean? Because somebody has, event producers, people doing festivals, like we think about this stuff, right? And I think there's enough energy out there that people are going to want to come back to these spaces. I think it might look a little bit different. And something that we, are working for in terms of the future of opening a space is having it be a more equitable situation that people who are filmmakers, people who are performers have more of a stake and actually a profit share of what goes on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm excited because I think that, as a creative person, I try to position myself outside of the box to be more optimistic. I kind of have to be to keep at it. And I think, we have an opportunity, you know what I mean? I think to do things differently. And I think we're going to be sad to see places go and close, you know what I mean? Hopefully not all of our favorite spots, but, places are changing or shifting or moving, you know what I mean? And I don't know that we've seen yet what that's actually going to look like in Philly, you know what I mean? But I think, or fully, you know what I mean? I think it's going to take, we're still early, you know what I mean? And a lot of, I think, the economic impacts, but I think people want to be together. I think they have. Humans have wanted to be together since the beginning of time. We're drawn together.
Look at us.
Yeah, look at us right now.
You all are doing it. I'm preaching to the choir. You're all doing it. You know what I mean? You're doing something cool, trying to get people talking and feeling more human. And I just have to believe we're going to get back to that. You know what I mean? I think I'm hoping that it's a new, different, more equitable normal. You know what I mean? Where people have get to do things where they've been long rooted and have more of an actual ownership of it. You know what I mean? I think it's really, anyway, I could go on about it. I'm very passionate about it, but I believe it's possible. I think we're going to be back, right? Okay.
I'm hoping. I just
hoping, right?
It's a tough time for a lot of the independent theaters and a lot of the small venues.
Yeah.
That it's just, it's hard to survive in a time when you can't do what you're supposed to be doing.
Right, yeah. And I think people are trying to figure it out. There's a resurgence in drive-ins. We're hoping to do outdoor stuff come next spring and summer. We're already working on some things. And
oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, but I kind of want to wait to see the dust settle. You know what I mean?
Right now, man.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah.
Drive-ins are popping right now.
I know. I know. And I want to do it well. You know what I mean? I think there's a rush for us to want to respond and fix it and do something right now. And for me, I'm kind of watching a lot of my colleagues, kind of not even just in Philly, but, other places who have more overhead. You know what I mean? They have salaries they're worried about filling. We're still pretty small and scrappy. And so it's I'm thankful to be able to pivot and kind of experiment and kind of just watch and wait, see what happens.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, Sarah, we've been here for almost an hour. It's felt like time has flown by.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You were an amazing guest, super informative. I love to learn what I don't know. And so I just wanted to thank you for coming. Normally in our show, what we do at the end of each show is we have Jason play us out. He hops on the keys.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
What? He hops on the keys
making my way over the thing. Alex had strung yarn across everything over here. During that last little bit,
make it pretty.
Kind of snuck over here and unwound things so I can play.
That's amazing. It is so cool.
Sarah, before he gets started, while he's getting himself together, let us know where to find you and all that good stuff for everyone that's watching.
Yeah, so you can find us. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at CineSpeak. Please find us, follow us, tell your friends. Hopefully someday we'll get to host you, in person online. We're going to be doing a lot more curated programming and more conversations and interactive stuff. So stay tuned for that. And possibly even a pop-up at the end of October. So,
ooh,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah. We'll see. I like spooky movies. I like scary movies. I don't know about you all, but I definitely love.
No, I don't like scary movies. I don't like scary movies.
I'm ready to be out.
I heard there's a new Jason movie coming out.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Not interested.
What about the old stuff
Unless
that's kind of
it's-
corny? I like the old horror where you can see like it's like clearly just like, you know, chocolate syrup, like blood.
It's got.
I don't like to be scared, man. There's enough stuff in real life that scare me.
Fair.
I don't
That's
like to be
fair.
scared.
Yeah.
So great, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Sarah, thank you so
No,
much.
thank you. You guys are
Sarah,
so awesome.
thank
Thank you so
Love
much.
you.
You're doing it.
Take us away, Jason. Love y'all so much. See you at the next Tiny Room for Elephants Happy Hour.
Peace.
Thank you all. Love you guys. See you later.
See ya.